Welcome to It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. What is it? It's everything. Everything you want in life starts with courage.
Guess what?
Yes.
I got my first hate comment on YouTube.
Okay.
I have arrived.
You have arrived.
Yeah.
Until somebody hates on you, you are nobody.
No, nobody. It said, this video is terrible, the audio is terrible, and the music sucks.
Well, you too, and thank you for the watch.
I wanted to say,
just having the courage to actually start something. It doesn't matter whether it's great or not so great. The fact that you actually started something and someone's coming to watch, and that person, like it or not, came to learn something from your page, Jen. They came to learn something from there. It's about luxury home renovation. So clearly they're interested. And what I have never understood about people who put negative comments, obviously people are entitled to their opinion, but why attack the person who's had the courage to start and essentially pave the way? Lead.
right. Did you see, I don't know if you do, if you watch this, you probably don't, but me and Bob and Bailey watch America's Got Talent every Tuesday night.
I used to watch it.
Since we record on Tuesday night, we watch it on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But there was a girl on there who was a singer, and she took all the hate comments from her YouTube channel and made a song out of it.
Oh, I like that.
It was an awesome song too. And she got 4 yeses.
Are you serious?
And she's making it through.
Was she on YouTube?
I'm sure she has a YouTube channel.
Like, that's where she got the comments from?
Yeah, that's where she got the comments
That's
from.
amazing, because that's starting something different. That's like the start of something different. You know what we should talk about today?
What?
We should talk about leadership.
I agree.
We should talk about leadership. What is leadership?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, because I was looking up leadership, and when I was a soccer player, I would always hear my coaches be like, "Be a leader, be a leader," and I'd be like, "Okay, am I a leader?" Like you just played hard and tried your best, and you wondered, like, "Am I being a leader? What is? How do you?" It's so hard to define.
Yeah.
So I found a quote by John Quincy Adams: "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, or become more, you're a leader."
Oh, I like that. I like
it a lot, because I think there's a lot of people that fall into one of those categories that may not consider themselves a leader, because sometimes you don't even know when you're inspiring others.
And I think sometimes you're forced into it, to be honest. Like, I remember growing up, I lived with my sister growing up, and obviously well, it's not obvious, but I'm the youngest in my family. I'm the last one. And my sister raised me along with her daughter. So everywhere we would go, me and my niece, like pretty much that's like my sister, really. That's how we grew up together. And I remember my siblings would always say, if we did something wrong, my siblings would always be like, "Well, you're the eldest. You're the eldest." So I think sometimes you're forced into a role of leadership by default, I guess. And I think that doesn't necessarily mean you know how to be a leader, but you just figure it out. Like, you get this sense of responsibility, don't you? Because that's what it's about. You have to do better. You must show better. These people are coming up behind you, and what you do is what they're going to learn. I mean, I would say it can be a little unfair and a lot of pressure for some, but I think there's a lot that we can learn from it, such as what are the qualities of a leader?
There's different ways to lead, like some people are very vocal, some people are more through their actions, some through their education, maybe they're smarter in different ways.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a whole list of qualities that leaders have, but some that come to mind, I guess one of the first ones would be integrity. I think to be a leader, people have to respect you. I feel like you have to have a inner feeling inside to do the right thing.
Right. Sorry, guys, I had to step away from the mic and burp, unless you wanted to hear that.
If you'd like to see it, it's on video. So check out our YouTube channel, and you can see Kat burping.
Plug.
Anyway, but just integrity in everything that you do, I think is one of the qualities that comes to my mind about being a leader.
Yeah. And I guess when we say integrity, let's talk about, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're conducting an experiment and you are the leader of your group with this experiment, and you're supposed to say what went right, what didn't go right, write everything down. But let's say you forget something. You forget something and it's changed the results, but nobody else knows, right? It's either you're going to have integrity about it and tell the truth and say, this is actually what happened. And as a leader, I suppose that would teach the rest of your team.
Absolutely.
What is the right thing to do when it comes to such situations? Or you could go ahead and lie. I mean, then there's no integrity in that, in your leadership and what you're teaching them, or in your experiment. So what's another?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence. But I don't know about this one. I don't think to be a great leader, you have to have self-confidence, because I don't think everyone, as you said earlier, we lead differently, right? You might have those people who lead from behind. That is, they are not the ones who are out in the forefront leading and saying, this is how it's done, or but they just give positive encouragement and reinforcement into say, oh yeah, you can do this. You're great at this. What about this? But it doesn't necessarily mean that they have self-confidence. It just means that they know how to direct others. They're essentially behind the scene, right? Do you think you have to have self-confidence to be a great leader?
I do. I think what you're describing is like a cheerleader. I think that's someone in the pack. I don't feel like that's a leader. I mean, I think you can have less confidence and be just part of the group and be a cheerleader and cheer everybody on and have a positive attitude. But, if I'm going to get into a business venture with somebody, or something where money or anything is on the line that's of value, like I want to know that person has confidence in themselves that they can take us to the finish line.
Yeah.
So
is that not you? Like, what makes you feel confident about somebody's leadership? I just did a quick Google, and I like that you said they're cheerleaders. So I was trying to see, is there a leadership type?
Cheerleader.
That is the cheerleader. And it says the cheerleader type is a leader who tries to get the most out of their team. And they might see themselves as a cheerleader, right? Mm-hmm. So they may put on a positive and upbeat persona around, let's say, their staff or whatever. And their goal is really to make you feel appreciated and like you're capable and encourage you to strive. So you're still leading somebody towards something.
There needs to be different kind of leaders because there's different kind of followers. Because I don't want a cheerleader.
So it depends on the follower.
So like the rah cheerleader leader is going to annoy the crap out of me.
Yeah.
But you might love the rah.
Yeah.
So there's different types of leaders, and they have to be different types of leaders because there's different types of followers.
And you know what? I like you say that. I don't know what English that one is, but that's okay. Whenever I think about what I see on social media, on Instagram, and you see different ways that, obviously for me in fitness, different ways that people train and how they address their community. And I think that's definitely true in that, like, I might see something where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't like someone talking to me like that or showing me this, or, but there's some people who get encouragement from being, I don't know, maybe someone cussing at you all the time, and it works. It's just, I guess it's about the follower too.
It is. When I was coming out of high school, for some reason, I don't really know why, I wanted to go to Alabama and play soccer there. And I was being recruited by a lot of places, but I wasn't being recruited by Alabama.
Yeah.
And
they didn't want you.
No, they didn't. But I ended up going to Ole Miss, and when we played Alabama and I saw their coach and how he coached and his coaching style, he was a great person, but I would not have responded well to his coaching style. So I think it was a blessing. I think God knew, like, hey, that's probably not the right place for me. And if he would have opened that door, I might have made a mistake and gone in there and known that, hey, that's not going to be a perfect fit. So
so
all right. Well,
sorry.
I was gonna move on to a strong communicator.
I was going right there because I was thinking if you wouldn't have responded to him because of how he spoke to his team players, there's a lot to do with communication, right?
Yeah.
Getting through to people and how you address them. And I think definitely communication is a strong one. A strong one when it comes to leadership, because if people don't receive what you're putting out, who are you leading?
And a real leader will know that about their followers and how each person needs to be communicated with.
Right.
Because there are some people that need the rah-rah. There are some people that need you to get up in their face and like shock them back into reality. There are some other people that need to be, praised publicly or criticized privately. But if you do the wrong thing to the wrong person, they could just shut down on you. So I think, like, not only do they need to be a clear communicator of their expectations, of what they want and what the goal is, but I also think when I say strong communicator, I mean individual communication with the people that they're leading.
I also think, like, I guess often when we speak about communication, we're talking about you as the leader talking to your team so that they can, or whoever it is, so that they can hear what you're saying. But I also think strong communication also has a lot to do with your listening capabilities. You have to be able to hear and receive feedback, whether it's positive or negative, from whoever your community is, in order to be able to lead them well, hear what they don't like, what they're struggling with, what they need help with. Because if your focus is just on telling them what to do, then you really don't understand how you can help them be better, because you wouldn't take that into consideration if you're not listening well.
Yeah.
So practice active listening,
couple more. So this is a big one for me, and something that I feel like I do well and I love is to think differently and be an innovator. I think those are qualities, like almost the same quality.
Yeah.
In real estate, we always talk about leverage and having assistants and things like that. And so one of the companies that I have, we have like turned this just the way things are done of having your own personal assistant or having a VA, we've created this new niche that is a little bit different. And sometimes agents are like, I don't know if that's going to work for me, because they're just stuck in this mindset of this is the way I've always done it.
Right.
And until you can like have an open mind about doing things a little bit differently, and be able to think creatively outside the box to either like take your company to another level, take your life to another level, whatever you're doing, your team to another level, whatever you're thinking of this podcast in, whatever way you're thinking of it in.
Yeah.
You have to be able to try different things, think differently to get to a new level.
I agree with that. You have to be an innovator, but at the same time, I would also say, what I like when you said think outside of the box, because being an innovator, I don't think means that you have to reinvent the wheel.
Correct.
I think it's just that you have to do things slightly differently. That's all. You could tweak it just a little bit.
Just make it better.
Yes. And
do
it
it
makes
a little better.
all the difference.
Yeah.
So I like that. Innovation without reinventing the wheel.
Love it.
Yes.
Okay. 2 left. Self-motivated. Are you self-motivated?
You know, I struggle with, not that I struggle with this one, but a lot of people, I always get asked, how do you stay motivated to, let's say, work out and to do this? And to start, yes, I think you have to have a level of self-motivation in terms of your leadership. You do. But I also do think a lot of it is fueled by the people looking up to you. Because I mean, when it comes to fitness, it's not every day that I want to work out. I don't want to eat healthy all the time. I just want a pizza. I want a bunch of chocolate. But then I also have to think about duty of care, right? When it comes to you in a leadership position, that is your duty of care with what you show people and what you tell people, right? Everybody might not be able to control, let's say, their cravings or in a certain way that I can't be on there every day and say, just eat whatever you want, but just control it. You do have to have a certain level of responsibility, I think. And for me, that's what motivates me. I'm motivated to give out the correct information that will not cause harm and lead in a way that is beneficial and rather than detrimental to whatever the cause is. That's where I say this motivation comes from. I can't always say it's always self-motivation, but you have to be interested enough in whatever project you're leading to be fueled by wanting to get results for that project. That's what I think. That's where I think the motivation comes from. I don't always think that it's self, personally. What do you think?
I think in some ways it's self, and in some ways it can become from, people that you're leading. I mean, look at what you've done with Insecure Fitness. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had to be pretty self-motivated to start that and stay consistent over a long period, over a year, with not a ton of real growth in that. So many people would have just quit. Right. Or they would have gotten busy doing other things. And so when I say self-motivated, I feel like that's also saying that you love it, like same thing you were saying. You love it enough to want to continue, even when it's not convenient.
Right. But I think it's having, in the end, you do end up with a slight obligation to, if you're a leader, you're leading people, you're leading a team, right? Just because you don't feel like it doesn't mean you should stop or you shouldn't perform at your best, because you're in that position for a reason. So they are looking at you for something, for direction. So you can't just wake up and say, okay, no, I'm done. Because that's where that duty of care comes in. So, self-motivation, yes, but even if you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, is it not the money that really motivates you, as opposed to, I'm just self-motivated to go and make money? It's that idea of more money, more.
But you reach a point, and if you talk to millionaire and billionaires, you reach a point to where it's not about the money anymore. Yeah. It's about being your best self, living your best life. So, there gets to be a point where you're like, I have the money. What am I going to do with another billion?
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, me neither. But I think if you listen to a lot of super successful people, it's not about, it gets to a point when you have enough money where it's not about the money anymore. Right. It is about, did I leave this earth being accomplishing everything that is that I'm able to accomplish? Did I live my best life? Did I take it as far as I could? Did I spend the time wisely here, the short amount of time we have here together? So, yeah, that's true. And then the last one I have is care of others. I really feel like if you as a leader don't care about who you're leading, they're not going to follow you.
Yeah. And I don't think you lead well if you don't care. There's
a great book about this. It's called Permission to Screw Up by Kristen Haddad.
That sounds like a great book.
It's an amazing book and about her growing a cleaning company, Student Made, and all of the mistakes that she made in that company. And a lot of it was like her growing a business, never have done it before, and she was the leader, and like the first chapter is about like her having this huge job and her whole staff walking out on her. Because they didn't feel cared about, their feelings, their things like that. So if you're looking for a really good read, that is one that I really liked a lot.
You can get it for $0 on Audible right now, free trial. There's no sponsorship, but Audible, if you're listening, I just gave you a free plug.
Yes, Audible and Vitamin Water. That's our sponsorship.
Because Jen's always drinking vitamin water.
Yeah.
And you listen to audio
I listen
books,
to
don't
Audible.
you? Yeah.
I have like 100 books downloaded.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up about leadership. How do you think that we can be leaders in just our everyday life? Like if you're just an average Joe or an average Jane, and you wake up, you take care of the family, you go to work, go home, you do your Insecure Fitness workout.
Yep.
Like how can we be a leader in that scenario?
Or can you identify moments throughout your day where you're a leader? Again, some of you are parents out there. You may have younger or older siblings, even just within your friendship group. And what type of a leader are you? Do you feel like you have a leadership style, or do you go through different leadership styles throughout the day, depending on the situation? We would love to hear from you guys, and what leadership means to you, because at the end of the day, you never know who is watching and learning from you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of It Starts With Courage podcast with Kat and Jen. If you like this episode of the podcast, visit our website, iswcpodcast.com, for show notes and other cool things.